In this episode, we're going to be talking about the power of love.
Welcome to Thriving Launch with Louise Congdon and Kamala Chambers, the show for heart-centered entrepreneurs who want it all.
5 days a week, we bring you different segments to inspire you to live a life of freedom. We interview the leading experts in the field of business, health, and love. Be sure to check out Training Tuesdays, where we give you a clear action plan to grow your own business.
How would you like to be able to interview world-class experts, sit down and have chats with people like Jack Canfield, Marianne Williamson, Robert Kiyosaki, Tim Ferriss, you name it? Would you love to interview other people that you really admire and consider to be your heroes? Well, we've created a course for you that teaches you how to podcast, how to set it all up, and how to get going so that you can really have a successful show and you can do it properly. Over at thrivinglaunch.com, we have a podcasting course, and it's there for you, waiting for you to snatch it up. So head on over to thrivinglaunch.com and let me teach you how to podcast the right way.
We are here with James Van Praagh. It is so awesome to be here with James. He has co-authored books with Doreen Virtue. He's, of course, a bestseller. He's been on Oprah, Larry King Live, Dr. Phil, 48 Hours. I mean, so many places. And he has his own school now, the Van Praagh School of Mystery Arts. So we're so excited to have James here. He's been a medium for many, many years, and he has a new book out, The Power of Love.
All right, here we are with James. So exciting to have you on the show. James, are you ready to launch?
I'm ready to launch.
Beautiful. So you just came out with this new book. I'm excited about it. And not only that, you've been around for a long time, inspiring people, really getting people to think beyond what's immediately physically there. You're helping a lot of people really connect with these deeper elements and aspects of life. In this new book, The Power of Love, I'm excited about it because I think that love conquers all, and love is the most powerful force in the universe. Tell me a little bit about that book and why you decided now was the time to write this book.
Well, it is very, very true. Thank you first for having me. I appreciate it. And The Power of Love, the book came out about a week and a half ago, I think. And it's really been a book that's been in the process, I guess, for 35 years, from the beginning of the work that I do as a medium, which started 35 years ago, because it's really that energy of love, which it's that energy, that vibration, that frequency that is the reason why mediums work. It's because the bonds of love created by the loved ones on the earth continue on. Love never dies. And it is through that, the using of that energy, that I'm able to be a medium, that I'm able to bring through messages to loved ones. It's because that undying force, which is love. And as you said, love is the greatest healing force in our universe. And I believe that life is really just a series of choices, and choices are either love or fear. And that's really what makes up our life, those choices, either love or fear. And when we use fear, we're stepping out of our source, who we are, because we are loving beings. We are souls having a human experience, and the soul's energy is love. Fear is not our energy. Fear is really a stranger to us, if you will. It's not part of who we are. It's very earthly. It's the ego self, like a F-E-A-R, false ego appearing real. And it's the illusion. It's part of the illusionary world, which is this earth world is the illusion. So love is the only thing that's real. So when you use the energy of love, the power of love, through your thoughts, through your actions, through your words, you can create the life that you want and the world that you want. So that's why the book had to be written. And I really just channeled the work from the spirit world. They wrote this book, I'd say about a year and a half ago, and it was just me going through this series of sitting down at different times in a meditation circle, a development circle, and bringing through this information, different parts of it. And like I do every book I've written, I just open myself up to be the vessel, and this book comes through. So this time was The Power of Love, which it's a great timing on their part, considering what the world is going through right now. So it's
right. Yeah, we're definitely experiencing more turmoil and division, and that reminder that you're talking about, it's really a pertinent time, especially as we progress in our evolution and humanity. And I'd really think that it's a very important message that you're sharing. One of the things that you said that really resonated and connects with me is that our loved ones, even after they leave their bodies, they're still sending us messages. They're still loving us. And, I've never, had any experiences like you have, James, or some of the other listeners in regards to talking to people that have passed or different things that make people, really believe in it. But for me, when I was 5 years old, my mother was murdered and, lost connection with her. I was adopted when I was 8, came to the United States, and I didn't ever call upon her to connect with her. Wasn't sure if I'd believe that when I was a child. But one of the things that I really felt consistently as a child is I could somehow feel her presence. I could feel her love. And I remember when I was 18 years old, I was starting to think about going back to Colombia, reuniting with all of my biological family, going back to the birthplace where there was a lot of turmoil, and that I was kind of snatched up from that country and brought here to the United States. And I could feel her presence, and I could almost in a way feel, it wasn't like a voice, not a voice like I hear you and me speaking, but this kind of impulse, just like blood coursing through the body or oxygen coming in. It was kind of this vague sensation of I could feel her, and somehow I could interpret this sensation or this kind of softness. I could somehow translate that to my mom saying, I want you to go back to Colombia, and I want you to reunite with your father, who I'd never met, and I didn't meet him until I was 18, but I could just feel her telling me that I needed to go. And throughout my life, there's been many situations that I personally wouldn't have done, but because I could feel the loving presence of my mother who had passed on, I could somehow feel her calling me to go. And unlike you, I didn't have any basis on this. It was just kind of like, I don't know why I feel this way, but it's like I can feel her.
Yeah, and it's very much that more than likely, it's probably 99% that she's your guide. She left and became a guide. And many times what happens, our loved ones who leave us here in the physical will become our guides, will become our teachers on the other side, can help us, help to influence us, because the love never dies. And just like you said earlier, you said something about the world, the oxygen around us. We have oxygen around us and we don't see it, but yet we breathe it in every day, every moment in order to sustain life. Same thing with love, with that energy. That energy of love is all around, especially from the mother or a father or family members. Part of them is with you because you're part with them because they're part of your soul group. So we experience things here in the physical, but she's experiencing it from the spiritual, and she's just really giving you into your soul what's best for you from her point of view, from her perspective. And why wouldn't she? Why wouldn't she? She would want you to continue your soul journey. She wants to help you with your soul journey. And as she helps you with your soul journey, her soul journey is also evolved. So we work together with the spirit world all the time. And it is that energy of love that has brought you where you are today, because you wouldn't be here today doing this type of work that you're doing and having all these listeners and doing this program if she wasn't influencing you in some way to do it. So it's interesting how things work, but there are no accidents. I always say there's always divine intervention in everything.
I absolutely agree with all of that. And one thing I'm really curious about you is your work in mediumship and coming out with the book, Power of Love. How does that bridge? How does that connect for you?
Well, it's very natural because the energy as a medium, when I first started doing the work many years ago, I was working at a 9-to-5 job at a nice big corporation in the U.S. and had a very important job. I was a manager of a contract department for television shows, and it was a big job, a lot of benefits, everything was great about it. But I remember doing the messages, bringing messages through to some people, and it was just incredible, the sensations of these people came to me who were depressed and whose lives were over. And after a session with me, they were walking on clouds. Their whole life had changed. And it was that energy of love that the loved ones came through and let them know they're still with them, they're still around them. And I just knew that there was no greater purpose for me to do than to bring forth this loving energy, the power of love. And that's what's really my work has been about, is that healing power. And now it's coming into whether, it's so interesting because through the work I've learned so many things myself, whether about how could you love another person if you don't love yourself? So you have to have a relationship with yourself. So a lot of the book would be, talking about loving yourself, having a relationship with yourself, learning how to be responsible for your loving yourself, being aware of the space that you're in, the space around you, what people are drawn to you, how to work with the energy of love or the energy of fear, which one you go toward. So it kind of works hand in hand with the work I do as a medium to always expand and evolve.
I've got an interesting question here from one of our listeners, and that question is, how do I become okay if I can contact the other world, but it scares me? Because I've heard that a few times, and one of our listeners has been asking about that. How do I get okay with that part of me and begin to access that without so much fear?
Well, that's a good question. It's a great question. It's a common question that a lot of people ask because a lot of us were raised in organized religions or belief systems that say the supernatural is evil and you can get possessed and it's all this dark stuff, and not necessarily true. We are, first of all, souls having a human experience. We're not humans having a soul experience. We're souls having a human experience. And as a soul's natural vibration is love. That's who we are. I think that the unknown can be scary to people. I think if you don't have knowledge is power, and you have to become more aware of the world of synchronicity, how to feel love, how to feel the emotions, how to feel intuition, the soul's voice, how to use intuition. So baby steps is great. Baby steps, knowing that you're always loved, that I don't believe in evil per se. I really don't. I think evil is a human concept. I think that evil is a human concept. And I think there could be, yes, someone who doesn't realize love or they live in fear, but I think evil is human made. I really do. The work that I do is quite the opposite. But for people that are just starting out, just use your hunch, just use your soul's voice. Become aware of your connection with your soul. Your own relationship with your soul is very, very important. And listening to your soul's voice, those little glimpses of intuition where, so the phone rings and you feel it's a certain person and sure enough it is, that's your intuition. We have these little intuition hits every single day, and that's our soul's voice. So the first step I'd say is really have a connection with your own soul, have a relationship, expand that relationship, learn as much as you can about intuition, about awareness, and take it that way. Read as much as you can, as many books as you can. Programs like this are important. And really never measure yourself to anybody else. That's why I say take baby steps. I have a great school, which I created. Gosh, it took me a long, long time to create this school. It's an internet school. It's called the James Van Praagh School of Mystical Arts, or as I say, the JVP School of Mystical Arts. And I put together right now, I think we have 9 or 10 courses. And one is on intuition, one is on mediumship, one is on transformation, all different types of things that people are interested in on their own journey. So something like that might be very good to people just to look at, to see what resonates as truth. But we have to remember that those old belief systems usually aren't ours. They're usually our parents or societies or someone we're married to or partnered with, or someone else's belief systems. We got to be true to ourselves. What feels right for us might not be right for somebody else. I also say in that relationship you have with yourself, with your soul, one has to realize that what other people think of you is really none of your business, because nobody knows you better than you know yourself. So many people get caught up in the illusion where they care what other people think. Oh, I have to do this to be successful. I have to do this to have a relationship, or I have to do this to be financially free. Not necessarily. Don't follow other people's way. Do it yourself, and don't let other people tell you who you are. You have to know who you are.
You're talking about some really beautiful and powerful things when we integrate into our lives more and more. I'd love to hear, is there any concrete tips that you would give to the thriving launchers that we can all apply to our daily lives?
Sure. I got a couple of things I could tell you too. The first one I would say, if the first step, and it's a daily thing. So number one, mindfulness, which I think a lot of people in the Thriving will love this, the Thriving community. Be mindful. Now people think, what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is really very easy. So mindfulness is just having an awareness of the moment that we're in. So right now we are speaking together. This is the moment that we're in, and trying to live the best of this moment right now. So the past has already happened. Yesterday is gone. Our childhood was gone on. Yesterday is yesterday. Things happened. That's happened. And that's what brought us to today. The future is yet to be. So there's no reason to waste the energy worrying about the future, no reason to use that energy in a fear mode. You can look forward to tomorrow and what tomorrow brings, the potential of tomorrow. But truly to be mindful, living in this moment, living in the current moment, that is mindfulness. Being mindful of how you feel at the moment, knowing that you are in control of the moment. So that's the first thing. So being mindful and being mindful of the moment. That's it. Number two, this is really interesting because I often say that everybody is God. Everybody is light. Whatever words we want to use, labels, we have an energy. We have a pure, loving, light energy. I believe that every single person is God. Certain belief systems, that's not God. That's usually humans. But we have that source energy within each one of us. And I believe that people each day can go about living their day, not only being mindful, but also try to see the light in each person who comes upon your path. Try to see that God person, even though the person might be really horrible to you and treat you really badly. There's something going on deep within, which is love, which is light. Now, a lot of people, especially in the holiday period, a lot of family members and friends kind of act out their stuff, act out their insecurities. So don't stop when you interact with someone. If they're throwing something at you, stop right there. Stop. Pause, take a couple of breaths and observe what they're saying, and don't have a knee-jerk reaction where you're going to go back and emotionally go back at them. No. You want to stop and observe. Why are they behaving this way? Why are they saying the things they're saying? There's obviously something that they're projecting from themselves that they're seeing. That's their reality, not mine. So that's fine, but you can just see, okay, I understand what you're saying. That's your point of view. That's fine. But then throughout that stuff, try to know that within that, they're a God. They're a light. There's a reason why they're there. There's a reason why they're on my path at this moment. So everybody who comes upon your path each day is either a teacher or a student. And that really helps. But we have to realize that we each are connected, that God light is the same with every single person, whether the person is a political figure or a person who's homeless. We all have that same God light, that God love. So it's a matter of recognizing that with, uncovering that with all the other stuff. It's finding that within each person. So those are two things that I really would say for the thriving community to start doing.
Thank you so much for that. We've been here with James Van Praagh. It's been so delightful to be talking about the power of love. Thank you all for tuning in. Go out and practice your mindfulness and your own power of love. Keep thriving, everyone. You've been listening to the Thriving Launch podcast. For books and resources related to today's episode, make sure to head over to thrivinglaunch.com. We'll see you there.
Would you like to have a body that you're completely in love with and you're truly at the top and height of your fitness? Stay tuned to our next episode where we talk to Drew Manning from A&E.